How can the right mentor accelerate your success? For more, we're joined by Dr. Steve Enterkit from CIA Tax to break it all down. How does mentorship help professionals avoid common mistakes?
Well, Mike, I've got 6 great key points that we're going to run through, and I've just been reading the points, and I'm going to actually move point 2 to the last point. Okay. So hang in there, because the last point's going to be the best point. But the best thing about mentorship is your own opinion is probably your worst enemy. You may have a great idea, and it may be you may be the ultimate introvert or genius or whatever it might be, but I believe most success, or nearly all success, comes from external validation.
True.
You know, at the end of the day, if you're just sitting there in your own mind with your own ideas, bending the world to suit whatever you want it to suit, you're probably costing yourself a whole heap of time, pain and suffering. So the best part of mentorship is to actually get out there and get validation from somebody else, and the somebody else is very important as well, to actually say, no, that is a good idea. You're on the right track. Have you thought about doing this or doing that? So the first key point is it's guidance and experience. This is the one that gets me. If you're going to speak to a mentor, if you're going to take a mentor on, make sure they've got some experience.
Very good advice.
You know, there is absolutely no point talking to someone for their insights if they've got no insights. So if you're hunting down a successful mentor for success, you want to make sure they're successful. Interview them. So what have you actually done? Are you just a very good mentor, or have you actually done what you're teaching others to do? So that's the first important one.
Yeah.
Someone who's done it, someone who knows the mistakes. As I said, I'm going to move point 2 to the 6, so you're going to have to hang in there for that one.
All good.
The third point is networking and opportunities. You know, when you're involved with a mentor, you're not just in your own world, with your own network, with your own people.
Echo chamber.
You get a much bigger group of people. So they're going to introduce you into their networks, their connections, people with other experiences, people with other ideas. Something might come out of left field and just say, hey, I hadn't thought of that. Why don't I go down that path? So you're taking on someone who's successful, number one, as a mentor. You're avoiding a lot of mistakes, but then you're getting their network as well. So that's a really important part of mentorship. Yep. So number 4 is skill and knowledge. All right. We may be very smart people, Mike, but I can tell you there's always someone smarter than you. All right, so there's a depth of knowledge that comes from experiencing success and track history and all those sorts of things, but skill sets that you might not have even heard of. Like I'm constantly amazed what we can do with AI and what we can do with digital. Really, unless you're fully immersed in that industry and that depth of knowledge, you're not going to get it. You're not going to know how you can shortcut your interview notes or whatever it might be, Mike. And getting that sort of skill set and knowledge in is critical. The 5th one is confidence. Confidence and decision making. Most of us are all pretty confident people, but if you look at an elite sportsman, they've got a coach. All right.
Yeah.
You get confidence and you get, in your decision making process by working with someone who's actually giving you that confidence, who's saying, yes, go, that's a good idea, that's a good decision. Make that pass, make that decision, whatever you want to make, it's a good idea. They're going to give you that confidence. I think we all suffer a little bit from that. Doesn't matter how successful you become, you get a bit gun shy when it comes to making decisions.
Definitely.
But if someone says to you, Mike, that's a really good idea, do it. Well, you've probably got someone else to blame now.
Exactly.
And that takes the pressure off yourself. All right, but long-term success and growth, it actually comes from having someone that's working with you on your plan that says, hey, we started here, it's a journey. It's 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step. You're bringing them in and making them part of that longer term growth. So all success comes from baby steps. We all start off making one or two steps, and away we go. So having someone involved as a mentor, as a success coach, or whatever it might be, for that whole journey, you've got that journey with them. Yeah. You know that, hang on, we did those 3 things 2 years ago, and they actually worked. So I've got a lot more confidence in you going forward. Now, I did leave this one to last, and we're bringing it right back now. What do you reckon would be a very important part of success mentorship, Mike?
Well, making sure you had the right mentor was kind of ticked off at the start, so hit me with this one.
Well, I think the most important thing is, and I'll give myself a plug as well, being an accountant, it's accountability. So if you come up with a plan, you externally validate it, you've brought in someone else's skills and knowledge and networks and all that sort of things, they're growing with you, they're sharing the journey, they're pointing you in the right directions, they're reminding you of past success, they're giving you the confidence and all those sorts of things. There has to be accountability through that process. All right, so if we're not accountable to anyone, we're going to go off on our own paths and get distracted.
And what does that look like, do you think, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, well, accountants love spreadsheets. So it doesn't really matter how it looks, as long as it happens. I've got quite a few people that come to me monthly from an accountability point of view, some from a weekly point of view, and they'll just send in saying, hey, this is what I've done in the last 2 or 3 weeks. All right, here's what I've done last week. Here's the amount of leads I've generated.
Base.
That's right. So that's that accountability. You're likely more to act if you know that I'm going to go, hey, where's my deliverables? Where's my accountability? And I think when you're self-employed, when you're at the top of the tree, you lack that level of accountability because everyone's accountable to you. So accountability, I believe, is the best thing, but it's that internal motivation. Yeah. Hey, if I don't tell Mike what I've told him I would do over the next 2 or 3 weeks, I've either got to be a pathetic excuse maker or actually say, no, Mike, I was really busy. I got those 3 things done. Now we need to adjust that for next month because we've got to address these other issues.
Reasons, not excuses.
Correct. So motivation is a very important part of accountability. Without the accountability, you lack motivation. The two go together. So I actually think, believe it, I always say there's no one more accountable than an accountant. We're very good at accountability. It's what we do. But spreadsheets, emails, phone calls, text messages, whatever it might be.
Engage.
Engage.
Absolutely.
In other words, that'll keep you motivated, that'll keep you moving.
Well said by you.